Three, two, one, action.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises.
Well, hello, patrol members, and welcome again to the Mojave Patrol. Well, yesterday I spent the entire day with the Boy Scouts of America, and a friend of mine is a scout leader, and his nephew is an assistant scout leader. And we went to visit the La Brea Tar Pits and the Peterson Automotive Museum. Stay tuned for videos about that. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today because I have a special whiskey I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to review a cigar from the bundle. So today is the something of May, the 12th. Today's May 12th, 2024. It is approximately, here in the shade, about 82 degrees. And it's about an uncomfortable 52% humidity. So, you know, that's not very comfortable for me. Like, I've mentioned before, I oh, it's the brass monkey. That scared me. I thought it was some creature over here. I have kind of a reverse sad situation where I'm really not a big fan of hot weather in summer. Not at all. So that is my gloomiest time of year. But that being said, it is not a terrible day. It's nice and clear. There's sparse clouds on the horizon. I can barely see the mountains from here. It's a little hazy. And what we're going to be reviewing is the Old Havana Stogies. These are handmade. Tell you what. We're going to take it out of the package. Once again, there's a trash can here. Old Havana Stogies. Let's trim it. Now, today's knife. Today's folding knife is an actual antique, right? From the American Civil War. I got this for a very, very reasonable price from the estate of a collector. It has a relatively sharp edge on it. Now, there is absolutely no way of knowing what kind of steel this knife was made from. There is no maker's mark on it any place, so I can only assume that someone paid a blacksmith to make it. It does have the safety stop, so it doesn't snap over and slam into your finger. It does have a hand-hammered bail at the top, and the handles are some kind of dark hardwood, probably stained. So anyway, there you go. I have my personalized shot glass from the happiest place on earth. And what I have here is 12-year-old Chivas Regal, a blended Scotch whiskey, the Prince of whiskey, aged 12 years, and it is 80 proof. And Chivas 12 blended Scotch whiskey, a smooth, rich, and generous blend of precious malt and grain whiskeys, matured for a minimum of 12 years in selected casks. Enjoy your Chivas signature 12-year-old whiskey, a symbol of success and celebration across the world. And you have a government warning that women shouldn't drink this because, I don't know, you're going to have birth defects, and drinking alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to operate some kind of machinery. And once again, the brave people in Scotland are not afraid to use the word problems may cause health problems. And blended and bottled by Chivas Brothers Limited, Distillers, Keith, Scotland. And this bottle is from 2023. So, let us get this open. There we go. Oh, it's got a seal remover. I didn't notice it.
No!
And once again, only the finest whiskeys have a screw top. Let's give it a breath. Once again, it has that old world aroma. Yes, very familiar. What the heck? Every time I make a video now, it seems like helicopters show up. You can't have any. Get your own whiskey. You know what? I have an app. Maybe we can find out who the offending helicopter is. I have an app called Flight Radar 24. That's the LA County Fire Department. It's a Bell 412 EP. It just left Torrance about 4 minutes ago. It was built in 2005. And it was traveling 80 degrees, heading east at 1,700 feet at 115 knots. So there you go. And where were we? Oh, we're getting ready to pour. Put the lid back on, keep the no-seams out. You see that? Did I get it close? It's a very mild aroma. A very mild aroma. Uh, uh, Almost a caramely smell. Very much a caramely smell. Uh, 20 in and 20 out, better than beer, but worse than stout. Oh, I'm never going to get that Kentucky Hug breath down like that guy from Scotland did, but that has a very pleasant taste. This is a very mellow, good tasting whiskey. My hats are off to. I had Chivas in the past, and I regular Chivas, and I didn't think it was all that great. But this is totally different. This is much better. Let's get into our stogie, as it says right up here at the top of the label. And since I'm not handing our cigars around, I can leave the label on. Don't uh, don't take me for a bounder because I'm not. And today's lighter is an Imperial Continental lighter. If anybody out there of my viewers knows where I can get one of these with a red grips, let me know. It's from the 1950s. That'd get you killed in a liquor store holdup, wouldn't it? Hmm. Once again, a very straightforward, mild Connecticut leaf. Thoroughly enjoyable. It's uniformly soft, except it's a little hard here at the end. That could be the way it's made, I'm not sure. Well, it's the way this one is made. But are the other old Havanas made the same way? I don't know. This is the only one I've ever had. That's once again a very good cigar. Not a great cigar, but a good cigar. So, like I said a few seconds ago, we went to the La Brea Tar Pits. That was very interesting. I have been there in the past, but I was there with the Boy Scouts. I saw some tar and some pits. A lot of bones. A lot of bones. So, yeah. For the hundreds of thousands of years that tar pit's been around, it's been collecting quite a few examples of different fauna and flora. Then, after a quick lunch, we walked down to the Peterson Automotive Museum, which I thoroughly enjoyed. You're going to see the video I'm going to make of that. Um, this is my first time being there. They must rotate their vehicles in and out because when I went this time, there were a lot of like, how are we going to say, prototype automobiles for like car shows and things like that. There were some normal production cars, but there were a lot of custom and prototype cars of the future. You know what people thought they were going to look like. There was also some very rare GM prototypes there. There was a couple of Chrysler products, a few Ford products, but it was very heavy in the General Motors. Um, I thought um, automobiles on display. One floor was pretty much devoted to Porsches. Um, I'm not a Porsche guy, but there were some pretty interesting Porsches there, and a spectacular Rolls Royce. Um, I'm more of an antique car guy, a vintage car, but um, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So you'll see the video. I'd like to thank my fellow patrol member Kurt and his sister and his niece and nephew, who are they're adults, they're not little kids, um, who are almost like family to me. I would consider them family. They're very generous and gracious people. I really like them a lot. Right now, we're stalled on a couple of projects. I'm waiting for the city to approve the plans for my solar roofing. The city has to approve that. And so that's kind of on hold. Um, I've called people to install sprinklers and set up appointments for people through, I hate to say this, Angie's List, people who didn't bother showing up or telling me they weren't going to show up. That's that's very sad too, you know. And we've been busy with some stuff, so I haven't even really got to work on any of my vehicles aside from charging the batteries in an effort to get ready to work on them. And I really need to start doing it before it becomes brutally hot. You know, because boy, once the temperature gets above 80, like it is now, I am not very enthusiastic about working outside. Right now, I'm in the shade. There's a light breeze blowing, and it is comfortable. But as a whole, you know, in the summer, I'm not enjoying myself. Though I will take trips to the desert just for you. Let's have another snort of this really good whiskey. Oh yeah, very flavorful. Like I said, a mellow whiskey warms the hearts of your cockles. It's just pretty amazing. I'm gonna take a peek out there at the mountains today. My binoculars today are Bell and Howell extra wide angle 8x40s. Um, I have uh, probably close to 100 pairs of binoculars. My wife calls me the binocular rescuer. And she's right. I picked up 3 or 4 more pairs just in the past month. But this is one of the pairs I take camping. Oh. Ooh. Well, sometimes you get questions that, or answers to questions you never wanted to ask. These binoculars are excellent. Crisp, bright binoculars. They let you see everything. So, the Continental Lighter Company, which is out of New York, had these lighters made in occupied Japan. And I know it's too small to see, but right here at the very bottom of that, it says made in occupied Japan, which was a requirement imposed upon Japan by the United States and England and Holland at the end of the war. So everybody uh, buying imported products uh, could make could make a decision as to whether to purchase them or not. And right now, well, for a while now, items made in occupied Japan have been a desirable collectible. And of course, like everything, they go up and down, just like the gold market, the housing market, the oil market, the market, the supermarket, right? Whatever market, the flower market, the gold market, everything. So these were commanding a much higher price about 5 years ago than they are now. But um, I have 2 black ones, actually 3 black ones. I have the rare mother of pearl grips, 2 of those, and I want the red one. Now, they also made these in half the size, so I have matching ones that are smaller in black and pearl, but I do not have the red handled one in either size. And all of them work but one. I bought one that was missing the little screw and the spring retainer, so I'm going to try to find one of these that's a total junker so I can get that. These are relatively easy to repair and get running. I mean, they're held together with really tiny screws, and you can take them apart and clean them, put them back together again. When you see the ones where the flame comes out of the front, out of the muzzle, those are usually uh, butane lighters. And one of these I have is a table lighter. It's got a stand. So I'm going to try on the whiskey and cigar reviews to show different knives uh, and lighters, because I have a lot, um, every time I do one. And I'll try to wear a different watch. This watch is from the late 1930s, early 40s, and it's an Elgin right here. This is an excellent watch. I set it yesterday, and it's been 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, almost 32 hours running, and it hasn't gained or lost a second or a minute. Let's call a spade a spade. Anyway, my neighbor's having a party over here. I'd really like to thank you all for joining me. Like and subscribe. I'm getting down to the last third of the battery. I don't want this thing to shut off on in the middle of recording. So thank you very much for joining me today in this really pleasant Old Havana Stogie, which is handmade. The Chivas 12-year-old whiskey. My Continental made and occupied Japan lighter. My Civil War knife and my Elgin wristwatch. I want to thank you all for joining me. Like I said, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and once again, I appreciate every single one of you. And for one of my patrol members out there, the next whiskey review will be the Japanese whiskey with the Great War cigarette lighter, and I'll see what other ancient knife or watch I can produce for that. So look forward to it, and we'll see you later, Mater.